What's up? What's up? What's going on, people? Let me just check out, make sure everything's running smooth and stuff. What's going on, chat? All my people's in the chat room. I'm just waiting for this to sync up. See if it sounds all right. All right. Sounds good. All right, we good here. What's going on, chat? How's everything doing? Let me set this up. See if I could pop this chat out. There we go. Pop the chat out a bit. You know, we're gonna rock out. We're gonna talk a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get my sermon on. All right, we sounding good. What's up, everybody? Let me go down the list. Damn, Ian, what's up? You know, Cal, Rob, MK, Support Gaming was good. What else we got here? We got Fax Machine. that's pretty funny. Fax Machine. My man Chance, Sneaky Snake. You know, my man Lionel. Oh shit, we good here. What's good, cousin? What's good, fam? How you doing? Your DT Roof, what's up? Scrub Gamer, Hoovy. You know, Jeremy, J Fonz, what's up? Alex, what's good? Modus Operandi, Dope Gaming, the finest. You know, Gamer Sam Regras. Oh shit, that's bugged out. You know, Senna sucks. You don't like John Cena or something? Cena sucks. Jackknife, Ronnie Sanchez. What's going on? The Ruham. What's going on, people? It's your boy Porter Rock 77. Let me take this off since not much sound is going to be utilized. You know, friends, family, my fellow gamers. What's good? You know, how's everybody doing? How's everybody? You know, I was off today. You know, had to do a couple of errands for the family. And I figure, you know, before I get gaming, let me do a little live discussion. My man All Day, what's up? What's going on? Who else is there? Mr. Miz, what's good? How you doing? Dale, hermano. Of course, you know what I do, bro. Huepa! ¿Qué lo que? You know that. You know I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna preach. I'm gonna preach a little bit. You know what I'm saying? My man Eric, what's good? Yo, thank you so much for filling up the chat. It's filling up nicely. Let's see what we got here. You know, make sure you hit the like button. 57 watching. If you don't mind, if you're new to the chat, I appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed the show. Man, oh my man, we already got the $5 super chat, my man Lionel. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the 5 people who bought Monster Hunter on Xbox. Oh snap, this dude's crazy. You know, but you saw that article about similar, and this is, I mean, specifically in the UK, but apparently like 70% of Monster Hunter sales is on the PlayStation, which you know, it only makes sense. You know, the franchise is one of those Japanese games once again. And it was primarily either a Nintendo or PlayStation platform. You know, it's not something the Xbox community really rock with. I don't know if it's their cup of tea. You know, I hope more do buy it because it's fantastic. I've been enjoying it. I'm trying to boost my level up so that way I could catch up to All Day and J-Dubs, you know, Kratos. You know, they way ahead of me. You know, there's a lot of people playing on PlayStation, you know. But on that's what I like about this motherfucker right here. Hard 8 inches deep. Porter Rock, you're a filthy wetback. Oh, here we go. We got fucking Hard 8 fans up in here. Yo, it's funny. Whatchamacallit? Yo, Hard 8. I'm gonna have to this guy's doing his fucking racial. Hey, Maz, take care of that dude, bro. That dude's already with the derogatory. Yeah, we could get him out of here. Fuck delete, just block him. That's instant. He just came here to be a pain in the ass. We could block that shit. Yo, what's up, Psycho Gamer? What's going on? Yeah, but I hope you know, I hope it gets more popular on Xbox platform. You know, it's great. It's a fantastic game, and I'm enjoying it too. I can't wait to rock out. Sonny G, what's going good? What's good? Mods, Texas. Woo! All right, so let's see what we got here. How many people we got up here? But anyway, Lionel, thank you so much for the super chat. You know, shout out. I appreciate your constant support to the channel, man. I really appreciate that. And again, if anyone's new to the channel or if you're listening, you know, after the broadcast, I hope you stick around, subscribe. 73 people watching. Again, hit the like button, retweet it. Let's get it out. Let's have a conversation. All right, so we'll start out with fabricated concerns over a God of War. You know what I'm saying? Man, this dude right here. This dude got issues, bro. Nah. Let me do this. How can we do this? Man, I can't. What? Here we go. All right, this dude, man. There's always one dude that's man. Don't do that racist shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, me? I don't. Oh, hell no. I'm not worried about heartache. It is what it is. I just whatever. It doesn't matter. That's it. That's his business. I mean, he has a thing for Zaire, which in my opinion is kind of weird. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird for any dude. Like, all right, if you have beef with somebody, you fucking let it go at a certain point. At a certain point, you gotta move on. That's with anybody on YouTube. You don't like somebody, then that's it. Don't deal with that person. That's it. It's over. The hell are you gonna dwell on it for? You know what I'm saying? That shit was kind of weird that he just came out. Oh, we got a Zaire love on the podcast. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, this guy's ready to do his shit. The only difference is I don't take shit from any dude. So I don't know. I don't know what's his issue with. I mean, we all know he don't like Zaire, but fucking get the fuck over. I mean, you're really gonna talk and concern yourself about a dude for the next 4 or 5 years of your life? Just let it go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's it. I'm not concerned who he hangs out with. I'm not concerned who anybody else hangs out with. It is what it is. You just move on and deal with it. I mean, just fucking let it go. That tripped me out. But anyway, I guess that's his niche or his thing. Whatever. But let's talk about some gaming and shit. Let's talk about gaming, all right? That's right. My man K says, yo, Porok, talk gaming. No doubt. That's what we're gonna do. All right. All right. This is what we're gonna start out with God of War again. So obviously, we all heard about, you know, the concern, the no jump button. Oh, I don't like the direction this is going. And come to find out, some of the dudes that don't like the direction it's going don't even like the original franchise. So that bugged me out. I could understand if you're a big God of War fan, and that's, or you know, you really like God of War. That's your franchise. And now they're changing the franchise that you like. I perfectly get that. Perfectly understandable. You have concerns of damn, appreciate it. Something good, appreciate it. You have concerns about a game that you enjoy. Oh, welcome aboard, Elson. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Gonclaves? Hey, buddy. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it for joining. Welcome to the family, bro. All right. Now, I could understand if it's a franchise that you enjoyed the way it is, and then all of a sudden, boof, they're changing it. I completely get that. But if you admit you don't like the franchise already, what the hell are you complaining about? What is the concern that you have? If you never liked the franchise from the get-go. I had dudes, I seen dudes on Twitter say, man, I never really played the first ones, but I do have concern about the direction they're going. What concern? You never played the other God of Wars. So what concern do you have? Like, are you sympathizing for the other God of War fans? Like, well, what concern did you have? If you never played a God of War game, why do you care that they're changing it? You never played the originals. And if you played the originals and didn't like it, then maybe the change is something you do want because they're changing something you didn't like in the first place. Yo, this shit is crazy. All it is haters trying to downplay a platform's titles in hopes that it could get enough negativity so that way it can't be used in this console war, which is weird and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's my thing, all right? Like, for example, let's say Sea of Thieves. You don't see me fucking like tweet after tweet, video after video talking about Sea of Thieves. I don't really care. All I know is for me, it's not something I'm interested in. But I'm not going to go out of my way to fucking bash it, downplay it, or whatever. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are talking that it's selling out. You know, beta's maxed out, whatever. It is what it is. My man Lincoln Clay, appreciate the $5 super chat. Thank you for the support, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. Now, for Sea of Thieves, it is what it is. If the game is good, it's going to be good on its own strength. Time will tell if it's a big AAA hit. You know, but I see a lot of advertisements, you know, free labor. I see a lot of nonprofit work. You know, it kind of reminds me of Recore. I remember when Recore was about to come out, man, my timeline was flooded with nonprofit advertisements of Recore. I'm like, holy cow. And in the end, the game barely did anything. Yo, on the wheel, P-Rock, check your PayPal. Let me see. Usually I get an email. I'm going to check right now. I know some of yous are iPhones or phones, and for some reason, y'all can't do super chat. Let me see. I know on on my email, I get to see the message for PayPal. So let me check this out. Because if you sent the message, if you sent the PayPal, then hit me up a text here, all right, and then I'll check it out. Next, let's talk about Shadow Colossus Metacritic score. Oh, we're gonna talk about that one. That one's gonna be a thing. But let me check my PayPal, because if you sent the PayPal and you sent a message, I want to address that. All right. I hope I could see the message. I know I see it during email, but like the email doesn't sync fast enough and stuff, right? Sorry if this is taking slow. But if a game is gonna be successful, it's gonna be successful on its own terms. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be successful on its own terms. All right. God of War. A lot of people who have concerns. What's funny also, there's people who I caught that was saying, oh, I really have concerns on God of War. I don't think I'm gonna get it. And then when you read their timelines, they don't even own a PlayStation. You see what I'm saying? Yo, is this false narrative? You know what I'm saying? Damn, I don't see the thing here. But hey, if you want to do, just hit me. Okay. All right. But if you did something, I appreciate it. All right. If you sent the questions. All right. Let me see. Did you send the question, MK? At me the question again, because the chat is flying through. But if you sent the question, MK, at me right now. Okay. But anyway, some dudes don't even have a PlayStation and they have concern on God of War. The hell you have a concern over a game you can't possibly play? Like, explain that to me. You have a concern over a game that you don't have access to. You know, people have concerns over a game they never played, or people have concerns over a game they didn't like. That doesn't make sense, you know? Now, for the ones that do like the franchise, that play the franchise, there's a few of you who confuses me with your concerns. I'm a little bit confused. No message, bro, just donation. Okay, brother, man, then I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much, MK, for your support. Shout out to MK right there in the chat, man. Thank you so much, brother. All right? Those that are fans, some of y'all confuse me. Because some of y'all like, you rather not have this God of War be made at all. That confuses me. I'm gonna be real on that one. I'm gonna be real. So the God of War fans that says that this game shouldn't have been made, I'm going to assume you are God of War fans. All right, I'm gonna keep that in mind. I just don't get that this game shouldn't be made if you're a God of War fan. All right, because number one, this game does not take away from the older games that you love. Does that make sense? God of War 3 still God of War 3. God of War 2 still God of War 2. God of War 1 still God of War 1. Those games are in the past. You played them. You have them. You could replay them if you own them, whatever. Those ain't going to change because this one came out. All right? If it wasn't for what Cory Barlog is doing and Santa Monica Studios is doing, we wouldn't even have this game at all. There wouldn't even be a God of War at all. You understand what I'm saying? And to say that this game shouldn't even exist, that's crazy to me. You know, I love the fact that they took an IP, reimagined it, did something completely different, new characters, new settings, new story. In fact, the only character that's original so far that we know of is Kratos himself. Everything is new. All the characters, his son, the creatures, the monsters, the gods. Rumor has it that Thor is in the game. It's just new everything. You know, new gameplay mechanic. It's just new in every sense. So technically, other than the title of the game and the character, this is a new experience. The only thing that's the same, and maybe the chain blades might make a comeback, you know, but the only thing that's the same is the character himself, possibly the chain blades, and the title on the box. Everything else is going to be a new experience. It's a new world. Supposedly it's a bigger world, an open world. We'll see if that plays out. I don't think it's like stages, kind of like how God of War was. You know, whereas it's completely open. If Kratos doesn't fight Jesus soon, I'm out. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? You know? So when you play this game, you're gonna get a new experience. It's a whole new game. The only question is, it's a good experience or bad experience. We're just going to have to judge that on the merit of the game when it comes out. You know, that's just how it is. But I'll be honest, I'm really excited to see this new direction, new world, new characters, new gods, new legends. Because I'm not well versed in Norse mythology. I was well versed in Greek mythology. What I mean by that is not like I'm a professor or anything, but I always enjoyed Greek mythology. I always enjoyed, Jason and the Argonauts, the story of Troy, Hercules and stuff like that. I always enjoyed, stories of Perseus. I always enjoyed Greek mythology lore, I always enjoyed that stuff. The gods versus the Titans and stuff. How Chaos was the first, and Chaos he gave birth to. I always enjoyed that world. And then especially what really got me into it, I think I was in the 7th grade. One of our classes was it was actually like one of those. I don't want to say elective class. It's one of those bullshit classes you have to take, and you only take it for like a semester, and you have a choice between like cooking, media, and like whatever. One of those classes was Greek mythology, so I took that, and that counted as part of English literature. So I enjoyed that class, So I enjoyed the Greek mythology, But now this is Norse mythology, which I'm not too familiar with at all, but I'm excited to see where it's going. All right. So hey, April 20th. At the end of the day, this is just my opinions. I think this potentially might be the most successful God of War out of all the God of War titles, only because one, PlayStation 4, the platform itself is the hottest platform out. Well, obviously Switch is hot, like it's the most recent hot thing. What I'm talking about is PlayStation 4 is incredibly doing much better than the PlayStation 3. Brian Landis, he asked, would you hope Uncharted change directions and mechanics if they bring another game? I would. I'll answer that question. All right. I'll answer that question in a few. All right. So PlayStation 4 platform is definitely. What's up, Trey BK? What's good, brother? What's going on? Jimmy, Xbox guy, welcome aboard. General the Ape, what's up? Tuda, what's good? Skip Bayless, welcome aboard. What's going on, people? DJ Almighty, what's going on? All right. Because the platform is doing so well, obviously game sales are better, okay? So the new God of War is going to benefit from the hot streak PlayStation 4 is at, okay? The new direction, the cinematics, just the way the game looks is eye candy for a lot of people, The closer visceral, third-person view, the potential to be more visceral, is going to attract a lot of gamers. 2, the added addition of story, cinematic, a closer cinematic tale is going to attract a lot of people just based on that. My man, Top Dog 2K17, what's going on? Personally, if this new God of War played like the last one, I'd rather not have it and have a totally new IP. I'm going to address that too. Great point. Good point on that one. Right? Now back to what I was saying, with the addition of, really doing a good story behind the character and how this father-son relationship is going to play out, it's going to be amazing. The universe is amazing. The complete change of gods and mythology is going to be amazing. And if they hype more of Thor being involved, I think that's going to be very attractive and amazing. I think this game potentially could be the biggest hit. Kind of like how Uncharted 4 benefited from PlayStation 4 to where it now sold, it sold over 8 million. Maybe it's close to 10 million. When the predecessors never sold that much, sold like 5 to 6 million. I think God of War is going to be the same. I think this game will ultimately surpass 5 million sales, which is what God of War 3 did. So I'm excited. I hope it ends up great. I'm a day one buyer of it, and I'm looking forward to it. All right. But we'll see how it goes, right? Now, address some of the questions that was there. We'll start with Top Dog, $5 super chat. He says, personally, if the new God of War played like the last one, I'd rather not have it. I could understand that. I still would have played it if they went with the same old formula, but different background, Norse mythology, Greek mythology, Norse mythology, Egyptian mythology, whatever. But I don't think a sequel would have been made that. I think that probably would have been the last God of War. I think it probably would have been bombed. I think people would have looked at the game and would have been like, this again. I don't think it would have been successful. I think Ascension was a clear sign that, okay, we're majority of people. I bought Ascension because I love the franchise, but I guarantee, well, not going to say guarantee, Ascension lost many of the casuals that liked God of War. Majority of the people that bought Ascension were the hardcore, and you saw how much that resulted, a little over 1 million. So I think hardcore God of War fans are like 1 million or so. To get past 1 million, you need the casuals. You need the people who generally like the game, but aren't hardcore fans of the game. They just like the game. But if they're not interested in it, they're not going to buy it, And I think this game is going to bring those people back and a lot more, right? And then Ryan said, "Would you hope Uncharted change direction and mechanics if they bring another game?" See, the thing is, I don't know how they would. Maybe I don't know. The only thing is, I don't know what direction you would be able to bring Uncharted, other than maybe first person. That would be the only thing. Maybe a first person view mode. But to be honest, I think Uncharted story is already written, and I mean, if they reimagine it, I'm all for it. See what they do. But I think Naughty Dog is on their way making a new IP. And the reason why I say that is not because of a recent article. It's because a long time ago I read an interview. I think it was Game Informer mag or online, but this was years ago. This was when Uncharted 1 came out. This was before or just about when Uncharted 2 came out, or before it. That's how long ago it was. Maybe 2008 or whatever. And no, it was shortly after Uncharted 2, because Uncharted 2 blew up. It was huge. So my man Cyrus Burke, what if Kratos' axe is a fragment of Mjolnir? Well, who knows? Or maybe at least made by the same design. The axe is magical. It does have a name, so it's gonna be interesting. I'm just so excited. All right, let's not try to do any spoilers. But going back to what I was saying, so around Uncharted 2 came out, I read an interview with Neil Druckmann, and I think Amy Hennig was in it, but it was just mostly Neil Druckmann. They talked about how Uncharted franchise came to life, right? And he talked about in the past, in the early stages of working with Sony, all the games they wanted to make. So they already had the type of IPs they planned out, even going back to the PlayStation 1, So the first one was obviously, Crash Bandicoot, right? And then when the PlayStation 2 came out, they had 3 ideas, right? 3 IPs they wanted to make, or actually 4 IPs. And all 4 of them, was the ideas. They said the first idea was a platformer, right? Like a platformer that they wanted to do. Another idea, they wanted to do an adventure Indiana Jones type game. They wanted to do a zombie game, and they wanted to do a sci-fi futuristic game. These are all 4 ideas that they had in one shot. So based on the time and period of the PlayStation 2, they decided that platform was the best fit because platforms was the most popular. That platformer or that type of game was Jak and Daxter, right? Then the PlayStation 3 came out. They wanted their adventure game. That's Uncharted. And towards the end of the game, they had their zombie game, which is The Last of Us. So there's one more game that they mentioned in that interview that's not out yet, which is a sci-fi game. And it has something to do with some isotope. They even described it, saying that there's a resource, that everybody wants, some type of isotope, and that's what the game is going to be about. So also in that interview, which was around the time Uncharted 4, and I'll try to find it again, and I'll link it. It's a pretty cool interview. They mentioned 4 IPs, 4 ideas they want to come up with. 3 of those ideas have came to fruition. So I think that sci-fi game is their next game that they're eventually going to unveil. So you heard it here. Naughty Dog, sci-fi game, futuristic. That's what they're going to be working on, right? So now back to what I'm saying, all right? So enough of that. God of War, I'm excited. April 20th. People are going to be either playing God of War or people are going to get high. Or some people are going to do both. Which one are you? I'm just going to play God of War. I don't get high. What are you guys going to do? Because, if you guys don't know, April 20th is 420. That's like the universal everybody smokes weed day. So one thing's going to happen. A lot of people are going to be smoking at home, playing God of War and shit, all right? my man Chet says he's going to be doing both. You know what I'm saying? Get high, play God of War. You know what I'm saying? I guess you guys have a go. I'm just going to be playing God of War, right? All right. My man said Omega, Naughty Dog is making a new sci-fi IP, but that's for next gen. It could potentially be for next gen. It depends. It could potentially. It could go either way. But hey, what's up? AJ Felton, Adrian Drake. All right, Danny, Omega. Appreciate you guys. Beats Games in Life. What's up? Hey, Hannibal. Thank you so much. All right, JD. What's up? All right, Inferno Fox, Savage. Appreciate you guys joining up. Please hit the like button. Let people know that we rocking out, chilling, all right? And I already went past the first topic, all right? We got 156 people watching. That's amazing. You guys are watching live right now are absolutely amazing. I'm truly blessed. All right. So we're gonna talk about the next topic, and this might be a little sensitive for some people, but you know, it's PSN down. Mayday, mayday. You know what I'm saying? PSN was down. Now not for everybody. Okay, let me explain this point. A lot of people there's a lot of gamers out there. I appreciate too, Danny. I know everybody says they appreciate me, but the truth is I appreciate you guys more than ever. Because I do this because I know you guys enjoy it. If nobody was enjoying, if nobody will rock out with me, if nobody will come to the channel, then I wouldn't be doing this, because then I would just be talking to myself. As you guys are out there, you know what I'm saying? And the more people that come out, the better, the more fun I have. I'm absolutely having a shit ton of fun, hanging out with you guys and talking gaming. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate it. Arian Drake, what's up? What's going on, brother? All right. So PSN's down, okay? So again, now there's a lot of gamers that don't understand this. I know many of you do. Some of you may not. Who knows? You guys are more, this chat, and my subscribers are a lot smarter than other subscribers out there on other channels. You guys get it, all right? So PlayStation Network, along with Microsoft and other services like Amazon and Netflix and Hulu, anybody who runs servers, right? The servers are compartmented, all right? What that means is if something happens to a cluster of servers, it doesn't impact another set of servers. That's why when PSN is down, some people are like, they be like, they're on their shit, they're on their little cheap headset like this, and Twitter comes up and they're like, PSN is down? Fuck you mean? I'm playing right now. Shit. PSN now. Fucking Xbox. Fucking all these fanboys talking shit. Because Xbox, man, Xbox like sucks. That shit's down. You want to talk about down? Talk about fucking Xbox stocks. Talk about Xbox console sales. That's the shit that's down. Ain't fucking PSN down. I'm playing right now. Fuck y'all. All right? So I get it. Some of y'all don't understand because you're playing while everybody in the world's telling you PSN's down. You're there playing your game and you don't understand why people are lying or frauding. It's not that they're lying or frauding. It's that the servers are compartmented. They are broken down in pieces. All right? Rarely, right? The few instances where everyone will literally be down, and I'm talking everybody across the spectrum, is like a security breach that impacts, your identity, money, cards, shit like that. Or if a virus gets on the network and it could potentially brick, all the consoles connected. Stuff like that will do 100% shutdown of the network, right? But if it's just impact glitch or something here or there, the systems are designed to where only those specific sets of servers are impacted. Everybody else can still play, right? But in this case, the specific set of servers that got hit impacted a FIFA tournament. And I think it was the official FIFA championships. Right? And because the logistics, the venue, and all that stuff was already paid for, it couldn't have been postponed or delayed until PSN comes back up. They had no choice but to transition over to Xbox when everything was paid for, marketed, and all that for PlayStation. I think Sony fucked up on that one. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, can we cut the bullshit now? Now here, I'm not here to say PSN's dog shit. PSN's a great network. I enjoy it. I play lots of games. I wasn't down when everybody else was down. Because again, but I understand why. But here's my thing. Why is Sony fucking around? Excuse me. Why is Sony messing around with PS Now? They're not into providing games as a service. Hell, there were more peripherals in 2013, 14, and 15 that was available that can use PlayStation Now, TVs and Blu-ray players and all that stuff. There was more devices that had access to PS Now than there are now. Now, I think it's only PlayStation authentic consoles and hardware and PC. That's it. Everything else got shut down. So y'all tell me, why are we still messing with PS Now? This is the thing. I could understand, right? Give me a second. This is my wife's tablet, right? This is my wife's tablet, right? This is her tablet. Let me take off. This is her tablet, right? Samsung Galaxy, whatever the hell this is. Okay, this is her tablet. I could understand if I install PS Now on this, right? If I install PS Now on this, and I'm playing Uncharted 4, or I'm playing Bloodborne, or I'm playing, Nier Automata, or I'm playing, PlayStation games, PlayStation 4 games, right? I'm playing Street Fighter. Well, Street Fighter will really suck on this. You get waxed. Maybe you have to attach a controller to this. And, there's peripherals that you could play, You've seen that. Third party controllers. Four Horsemen says PS Now is the best they got for back compatibility. Cell process difficult to emulate. We're gonna talk about that in a few. Okay, I agree, but we're gonna talk about that. Right? But anyway, so I can understand if I would play a PS4 game on this. Right? My man AJ says I beat 10 games on PS Now. Man, don't make me mute you. All right? Don't embarrass me. My man said I beat 10 games on PS Now. That's because it was free. AJ, do you have PS Now? Did you subscribe to it? Let me know. Be honest. Because that's the 14-day free trial. Anybody will play PS Now for free. You probably cut that shit off, right? You're like, oh, hell no, I'm not paying for this. But this is what I'm talking about, all right? I can understand playing PS Now on this. You install the app and you play PS4 games on this. Because this is not strong enough to run PS4 games. It doesn't have the power, the processor. It just can't, right? Can't do it. But streaming the games to this, it's the Sony servers or whatever servers, the guy servers that are rendering the game, which allows me to play the games over the internet on this device. That makes sense. I get that. This is a PlayStation 4 controller. Ugly ass camel one, right? So why do I have an ugly ass camel one? I have it because it was like $20 because it's so ugly. Nobody wanted to buy this, so they dropped the price. It was like $20 on Amazon one time. $20 for a PS4 controller is good for me. I don't give a damn about the design anyway. All right? But anyway, it's the PS4 controller, right? This is connected to a PS4. Why do I want to stream? Is my thing blurry? All right. Why do I want to stream a PS4 game over the internet onto my PS4 and have a worse experience of the game? And I'm not just talking about, graphics. Graphics, it would impact graphics, but most importantly, performance, latency. Why would I do that when I could play that same game installed onto the console? Especially you pro owners, especially if you guys who bought a pro owner, especially if you guys bought the pro. You're really gonna tell me you want to play Horizon Zero Dawn streaming to your PlayStation Pro when it's gonna look and run worse than the vanilla PS4 version, let alone comparing it to what you bought the Pro for? Come on now. Let's stop the bullshit. And do you think PC gamers really want to play PlayStation games on PS Now? Some of them, I'm not saying they all have these huge big regs, but if you're a PC gamer, there's certain things you like. You like frames, you like adjustments, you like doing things your way. You can't do that on PS Now. So you really think PC gamers, you think they like that? That's not a good experience at all. The majority ain't gonna care about that. Again, PS Now on this, I get it. PS Now on this, I get it. These cannot play PlayStation games. They don't have the power. They don't have the capability. But guess what? Because of guy servers, you can stream those powerful looking games playing on this. So having a less experience on this makes sense. People can understand that. Why? Because this is not meant to provide the full-fledged PS4 experience. But my PS4 console is. Those of you who bought the Pro, definitely. So Sony spent what, $400 million on Gaikai servers, almost $500 million to do what? And I don't want to hear. Let's not pretend PS Now successful. It's not. Listen, I understand, dudes we're fans of PlayStation 4, or we hope Sony does the best. It is not a successful venture. Let's just stop it. Let's look at the facts. Let's go down the line. And let's look at facts, not emotion. Facts. Sony brags about how many consoles they ship to retailers, 73 million. They brag how many consoles they sold to consumers, 70 million. They brag about how many games they sold, over 645 million. They even brag about how many PlayStation VR head units they sold, over 2 million. They even brag on how many PlayStation VR games sold, over 21, 24 million. They even talk about user engagement, over 70 million. And they talk about how many PlayStation Plus subscribers they are, over 30 million. By all means, people, hook me up. Ready? Somebody tell me how many PlayStation Now subscribers there are. I'll wait. I'll just sit here and drink my water. Give me a number and to show me where Sony said that number. Please post the link in the chat. Don't just tell me. Post the link so I can read it. And if I read it and Sony says da 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 da, I'll read it right now on live in the air. My man put 13,212,109 subscribers. If I use the headphone, yeah, I use it. That's the headphone. That's the headphone. Yeah, I don't really. I'm not a big headphone guy, but I have it just in case for a few games, certain games, whatever. Sometimes the multiplayer shooters are good. Definitely glad I had it for Hellblade, but I mostly like, you know, listening through like home speakers and stuff like that. But anyway, hit me up in the chat. Can anybody show me where Sony talked about the number of subscribers PS Now has? You see what I'm saying? My man said 90 million. Facts. Nobody. Trust me, and I looked hard. You know, I don't want you guys to waste your time. You guys know I do numbers. You guys know I do my research, and I look hard. I looked hard to see if Sony said anything about how many subscribers. Not even in their quarterly statements do they mention that. And that shit's like a fucking 100-page document. And I read through that shit. And the fuckers don't say anything about PS Now subscription. That is the only number they don't talk about. They talk about everything else. They talk about console sales. They talk about shipment sales sold to customers. They talk about game sales. They talk about user engagement, active user engagement, and they talk about PSN Plus subscription. But they will not talk about PS Now. They even started talking about, again, they talked about VR. They even talked about VR game sales, which is not a lot. It is a lot, but it's 25 million. So surely something that's just starting to take off, right? Because PS Now launched in 2016. I mean, PlayStation VR launched in 2016. VR launched in 2016. PlayStation Now was around longer than that. So if you're starting to talk about PlayStation VR, surely you can talk about PlayStation Now. They don't. Does PS Now cost Sony? Yeah, to run the service, to maintain them, to approve them, the patches. Right? It's just reality. My man Lionel, right? $10 super chat. My man, thank you so much for the support. He said Sony don't want to admit it, but PS Now is still in beta, just like the Wii was for 4 years for the Switch. Shout out to all the 5 people paying to beta test PS Now. Maybe it is in beta form. But here's my thing. All right, fine. Let's say it is a beta form. And they still work in progress. But right now, PlayStation 4 is the most successful console of the generation. And most likely is heading in the direction to be one of the most successful consoles of all time. Sitting right next to PlayStation 2. Right? Why is it that Sony hasn't decided to be like, you know what? We got the most popular console around the world, and the most popular console needs the best online service. We owe it to the consumers. We owe it to the brand recognition. We owe it to the PlayStation 4 and all future PlayStations. If we're going to brag and if we're going to be proud of what PlayStation 4 has achieved in terms of hardware sales, global reach, and game sales, and brag about how PlayStation gamers are trying out new experiences with PlayStation VR, how is it that Sony hasn't been like, you know what? We're going to make sure that this console also has the best online network in gaming. Everything's going to be synonymous with Sony. The best hardware, the best library of games, the best different experiences, VR, and the best online all together. That's what I understand. So they're spending so much money in PS Now, yet PSN, while it's great, I think they can really do better. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about that, Cena. He says, do I believe Microsoft will buy EA? We're going to talk about that. Right? Sony needs to really show that, and I'm sure they're making tons of money off the online network. I just think Sony needs to show, just mention things that's going to beef up the network that we can actually see. Be like, hey, guess what, PlayStation fans? All right, we are now boosting our network to where at least all our first-party games are now being ran on dedicated servers. So now your games will show more improvements, better performance, and third parties have the option of using these servers. So boom, things like that. Something like that goes a long way. A simple announcement of dedicated servers for a dedicated platform that we dedicatedly pay for only makes sense. You know what I'm saying? PS Now, that ain't it. Not right now. That ain't the answer, Sway. Again, PS Now on this would make sense. But it's not on this. You can't play PS Now on this. PS Now is only available on the PlayStation 4 platforms and PC. 2 platforms. Now, granted, PC can't play PlayStation 4 games because, Sony tries to keep it exclusive, or at least their first party, But again, why would I want to stream a PlayStation 4 game on a PlayStation 4 when I could just play it natively on the console? But anyway, that whole tournament with FIFA was a black eye for them. Because again, the tournament had to go. It's an official FIFA tournament, similar to Madden Challenge. It's an official FIFA tournament. They had to pay, the infrastructure, the services, everything, the venue, wherever they did it at, it was all paid for. And they couldn't delay it. So Xbox got the credit. So everybody was playing on Xbox, And I don't think that's a black eye on Sony. So Sony needs to do something like that, right? Now we're going to talk about the final topic. Let's talk why I think Microsoft is going to go third party. All right. I mentioned this a couple of times on my podcast. I mentioned this on Twitter. Right. But for everybody that don't understand, my man 696, what's going on? LaMarcus, what's up? All right. Chili Hog, what's going on? So recently, rumors, which I guess has now been debunked, was Microsoft was possibly ready to buy EA. That was the rumor. Okay? Some people panicked. Some people were cheering that Microsoft won the console war, that Sony's fucked. Fanboys, wow, it's crazy, bro. Fanboys, you guys jump at anything. You guys just can't sit back and relax. So when I heard the rumor, again, I treat it as a rumor, but I said to myself, if this was true and if this would happen to me, my man Fernando, como está, man? What's up, brother? Buddy Boy, what's going on? Sonny G. Javier Rivera, what's up? If Microsoft was to buy EA, and I'm sitting back just thinking, Microsoft was to buy EA, right? This isn't because they fanboying and they want fanboys to celebrate. Let me say something, right? Before I go deeper into this topic. A lot of people on YouTube channels, they hear information and then they make a prediction. Like me, I hear information and I just make a prediction based off multiple informations, Depending on the information I read, receive, is what formulates my prediction, right? But the difference between me and other people is when I form a prediction, I pull myself out of the fact that I like PlayStation, whatever. It has nothing to do, how I feel about the platform has nothing to do with my prediction. You understand? Because if my prediction was based on how I feel and what I would like to happen, then that's not a prediction. What I would be doing is a prayer or hope something happens. And that's what a lot of these people are doing. When they take information and they say, I predict this. Nah, you're not predicting something. What you're doing is you're hoping that's what will happen because that's what you would like to see. There's a difference between a prediction and a hope. Prediction, you take the information and you piece those pieces of information together, and based on that information, you predict an outcome. Most people, I ain't gonna say most, some people are predicting an outcome not based on strictly the information. They're basing it on what they would like to see as the end result, right? So when I look at Microsoft purchasing EA, right, a lot of people be like, oh, this is Microsoft ready to take over some IPs and make it exclusives, like Madden, FIFA, Anthem, Battlefield. So that way the only place you could get them is Xbox, and Xbox will be the best-selling console. That's the prediction a lot of people thought. That's not a prediction. That's what you hope will happen, right? When you pull yourself out, you have to look at the big picture of Microsoft buying EA, all right? The big picture. EA as a company is worth $35 billion. That is a lot. That is worth more than actually Xbox itself. I don't think Xbox is worth $35 billion to Microsoft. I think it's worth like 12 or something like that. I don't think it's worth 35 or maybe close to it. But EA is huge, all right? When you buy EA, you're not just buying games. You're not just buying Battlefield and Anthem and Madden. What you're buying is a company whose infrastructure, services, tools, developers, design, everything about EA is built to create products across all platforms, to include phones. EA is built to make games across everything. Their tool sets, the company, the development studios, how they operate, the logistics, everything about EA is completely built to make games across as many platforms as possible, from phones to tablets to consoles to PC. That is what they do, and that's why they're worth $35 billion. They're not worth $35 billion simply because they have Battlefield, Madden, and FIFA. They are worth $35 billion because all those games, plus many others, and the tools that they use, the infrastructure that they built, everything about EA is to support every gaming platform possible. That is what EA is, right? If Microsoft would have bought EA, it is simply to absorb that infrastructure, right? They're not going to pay $35 billion for 5 games just to say they have Madden exclusive. Madden is not worth $35 billion by itself, especially when you take that game and now it's only available on Xbox and PC. Madden, Battlefield, FIFA, that's not the equivalent of $35 billion. And putting them exclusive on your platform. You're going to lose a shit ton of money. A shit ton of money. And there's no way to make it back. You understand? Paying $35 billion is to take over an infrastructure. And if Microsoft wanted that infrastructure, it is clear to assist them in what's their ultimate vision. And this is where the point is. Cheddar Cheese Gaming, what's going on, people? All right? Ahmed-san, was good. All right? Don't forget to hit the like button, please, if you get the opportunity. If you can, please hit the like button. Retweet this out. Thank you so much for the support. How many people we got here rocking out with us? All right. We got 204 watching. Holy shit, I broke the 200 mark. Yo, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm glad you find this entertaining. We're going to keep on the conversation. All right. This leads to the topic that I feel Microsoft will go third party. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not doing, people think I'm saying this this is what's funny. The fanboys, y'all need to stop taking shit personal because y'all killing the fun now. This is supposed to be just fun banter and talking shit. I'm not trying to wish you death or hope that you fucking parents die or that you go broke and get fired from your job. Like, cut it out, bro. Like stop it. Some of y'all feel like if I'm saying something and then I'm directly insulting you, like, Jesus Christ. All right? Come on, man. Like, cut it out. All right? Microsoft going third party. It's not a bad thing. Right? At no point am I saying Microsoft will stop making consoles by going third party. All right? Because Microsoft knows they will always have a fan base. There will always be gamers and consumers that want an Xbox console. Because there's multiple reasons to buy consoles. Right? Whether it's for the power, the features, the controller, the user interface, the accessibility of Xbox Live features, It's just a whole bunch of things that a console brings to the table, and everybody has their own reason for buying that console, right? So Microsoft's not going to stop making a console. But what I'm saying is, by Microsoft going third party, the console, right, is no longer, let's pretend this is an Xbox console, right? You know, it's a little adapter. Let's pretend it's an Xbox console. The console is no longer the center of their strategy. The console is now a device. Games and services is in the middle, right? So let's say this is games and services, right? Xbox, you know, before it was Xbox console, it was at the heart of the strategy. And from there, you get your games and services and stuff, right? Well, now games and services is at the heart. Xbox is a device, right? And then let's say you got PlayStation as a device. Nintendo over here is a device. PC is a device. Tablets is a device. Phones is a device. Mac OS is a device. Android is a device. iOS is a device. You understand? The center is now games and services. Trying to sell services, trying to put services on as many platforms as possible, and trying to put games on as many platforms as possible. You still got your Xbox, but the Xbox is just a device now. It's part of what's going to make games and services successful. Now, people are going to look at it, especially the fanboys that take shit personal, are going to look at me. Oh, why is my Xbox? Fuck you, Puerto Rico. You're just trying to downplay my Xbox. I'm not trying to downplay the Xbox. But we got to be real with the situation. All right? When it comes to that console, when it comes to Xbox consoles, right? Every generation, Microsoft has his hand tied behind his back. Every generation when it comes to selling consoles. Because number one, Asia doesn't buy consoles. Enough for that fanboys bullshit about Asia don't count. That continent counts. Microsoft wants money off of that continent, off of that side of the world, right? Asia, Japan, all those areas, right? But they can't really get into that market with an Xbox console. That's number one. Number two, Europe as a whole generally doesn't buy a lot of Xbox consoles, right? Only a few markets are big advocates of Xbox, mainly UK, which is one country out of how many countries in Europe? There's a lot of countries that don't really sell Xbox at all. It's mostly primarily Nintendo, PlayStation, PC. So then you have that. And then the one continent that you're at your strongest, your most strongest market that you have, the US, North American market, Xbox hasn't won an MPD since October 2016. And that's your strongest market. It's been over a year since Xbox got an MPD. It was number one selling platform at MPD. So your strongest market, you're still losing. Other markets, you don't exist. And then the market in the middle is lukewarm. Now, none of this I'm saying is what makes a console bad. It's just a reality Microsoft has to continually face generation after generation after generation. They have to continually face the fact that a lot of regions, Xbox doesn't sell no matter what they do. It's just not going to pop off like a Nintendo console or a PlayStation platform console. It's not going to pop off like that. It has its regions where it's popular, and it's pretty much those are the only regions. Based on that, how can hardware be at the center of their strategy? How can it be right in the middle? It can't. They cannot rely on a few regions to push their gaming for, via hardware sales. That doesn't make sense. That's not a good strategy, So their strategy is try to shift more as a service and games provider, third party, right? Still got your Xbox consoles for the regions where Xbox is still popular, because no matter what, those Xbox gamers are still always going to buy Xbox. Just because now the Xbox games, first-party games, are on other platforms like PC, Nintendo, PlayStation, iOS, Mac, doesn't mean now, since I can play Halo on PlayStation, I'm going to play Halo. No, that's not true. You're still going to play Halo on Xbox. If you like Xbox, you're going to buy Xbox. That's not going to change. Just because other people could play it doesn't mean. Now, some people will make the decision, but for the most part, it's not going to be that big of a deal, right? And even if the people did switch and went to another platform to play Halo and Gears, guess what? You're still giving Microsoft your money because it's Microsoft games. And that's right there is the key. By centering the service model to games and services, they are now taking advantage, or they will take advantage of every platform out there. They will be able to sell their games and services in regions they don't really have access to, like the Asian market and many countries in Europe. But through Nintendo, through PC, through PlayStation, through iOS, through Android, through Mac, they will be in more regions of the world where they can sell their games and services than they ever have with just PC and Xbox. Because PlayStation and Nintendo are in homes throughout the world where people don't play on PC. Some people play on PC and PlayStation and Nintendo. Some people just strictly Nintendo and PlayStation. Whatever combination, Microsoft will be able to leverage that advantage and put their games and services on those platforms. My man Lionel, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, if MS went only third party, Xbox will become way bigger than they are now. All that R&D money from not making a console will be put into games and services. That could be potential. But I think Microsoft doesn't have an issue with making a console. Why? Because look at the money they make now of just a console, right? A lot of good. I don't like to say good. Let's put it this way. They're making money off of peripherals. Look at all those controllers they sell. That alone is making them huge money. $150 Elite controllers, and now they're making version 2. That shit's going to sell to the roof. All them custom consoles. There's people who bought 3 Xbox One X's. So they make money off of consoles. I mean, not big money, but Xbox is enough to take care of itself. But the whole strategy of gaming, the console can't support that. Xbox cannot support Microsoft's overall vision of selling games and software, or selling software and services. The hardware is not there. They don't even talk about hardware sales anymore. They don't even talk about year-to-year growth of hardware sales anymore. Have you noticed that? If I was a betting man, I would wager that if Microsoft were to release 2016 and 2017 sales of their hardware, I would bet that they sold more consoles in 2016 than in 2017. I will put money on that. I would say that even with the Xbox One X being released, 2017 sales of hardware was less than 2016. I would make a wager on that. I would bet a game. I would bet a AAA game on that. All right? Mainly because in 2017, there were months where Xbox couldn't even sell 100,000 units. It sold less than that. It sold like 90,000 units. That is low for a high-profile console. So hardware sales is not the heart of the strategy of Xbox. The heart of the strategy of Xbox, I think that they accepted, is services and games. Now the question is, how are they going to get services and games in other platforms? Well, people say there's no way Microsoft's going to put their first-party games on PlayStation, or vice versa. There's no way Sony's going to allow Microsoft games to be on PlayStation. Well, let's look at the first view. No way Microsoft is going to put their games on PlayStation. I asked the question, why? Well, the only answer people come up with is hardware sales. Well, I just talked about hardware sales can't be at the heart of the strategy. Hardware sales is not the main thing. It's not the best thing that's happening for Xbox. Again, it's locked down in many regions. It's mediocre in terms of sales and penetration in Europe. And then the one place that it's the best at, the number one region for Xbox hardware sales, hasn't won an MPD since October 2016. So how can Microsoft be concerned with hardware sales? They already lost the hardware sales war. It's already done. All right? So by putting their games on PlayStation platform, think about it. Nintendo Wii sold like 14 million and it's not even out for a year yet. PlayStation's at 73 million. So that's 87 million units already, right? Around the world. That's 87 million consoles Microsoft can sell to and take advantage of, especially in places where Microsoft is just not there. But they could put their games and services there, right? Now, some people say Sony's not going to allow that because they're not going to allow Game Pass to be on their PlayStation platform because they didn't allow EA access. Understand this, EA Access is a third-party platformer, right? Third-party developer. And the games that they have are going to be on PlayStation anyway, right? The difference between that and Microsoft is Sony could cut out an arrangement with Microsoft to where only their first-party games and exclusives are on PlayStation. All the third-party games, cut them out because Sony sells third-party games too, so they don't want Microsoft involved in that. But Microsoft will be more than happy to create an arrangement with Sony to where their first-party games are on PlayStation console. Games that don't come to PlayStation anyway. At that point, Sony's like, cool, you're just a third-party provider in our eyes. And you're just putting games on our platform. And we get we get royalty fees. Sony gets royalty fees. Microsoft gets, majority of the profits. Whatever. It's a mutual relationship. And I think Microsoft will be fine with that. Whatever deal Microsoft cuts with Nintendo, they'll cut with Nintendo. Whatever deal they'll cut with Mac, with Apple, they'll cut with Apple. Both for Mac OS and iOS. They'll go to Google for Chrome and Android. Obviously, Windows is on their turf, and every other operating system in between. If it's an operating system, if it's a service, whatever, they're going to try to put their stuff on that platform, And I think that's what Microsoft will ultimately do. They will ultimately go in that direction. Because in truth, when you look at Microsoft's DNA, the DNA of Microsoft is to create products and services that everyone can enjoy on whatever device is out there. Microsoft never sold Windows to just Dell computers, right? There was at no point was in order to use Windows operating system, you got to buy a Dell. No, you bought a Dell. You could buy at the time when Sony made PCs, Sony Vaio, Hewlett Packard, whatever. Build it yourself. Whatever you want, Now Microsoft Office, use it on whatever you want. It's available on Mac. They create the products and services. It's being sold on everything. Even now, look at Microsoft has the Surface tablet, right? That's hardware, and they sell Surface tablet, right? It's great. You ever seen those commercials? The tablet looks phenomenal. It's a hybrid. It's a tablet / laptop. Looks phenomenal, right? But the operating system that powers that tablet is available on other hybrids. Toshiba has a hybrid tablet / laptop. Dell has a hybrid / tablet, just like Surface. And those are the competitors to Surface tablet. Yet Microsoft provides the same exact software operating system to its competitors. Why? Because they're going to make money either way. If you don't want to buy Surface tablet and you want to buy the Toshiba one, then buy the Toshiba one. They're going to make money off you anyway. Buy the Dell one. They're going to make money off you anyway. But buy whatever you want. Either way, Microsoft is covered, But in my opinion, the strategy of hardware being the core strategy, the center strategy is no longer there. That strategy of Xbox hardware being the core and center of everything has now been moved over to being a device that supports the center strategy of software and services. And I think that strategy got a lot of fanboys scared. And they don't want to admit it. But they're going to have to admit it. Because the truth is, Microsoft is going to make a hell of a ton of money with this strategy. Being able to put their games and services on everything. On all gaming devices. On all smartphones. On all tablets. On all PlayStation consoles and Nintendo handhelds and consoles. And PCs. Oh, man. It's ridiculous. On all Apple devices and MacBook computers and MacBook laptops. Woo! They will be the biggest third-party game studio publisher in the industry. They will be bigger than Ubisoft. They will be bigger than EA. Especially if they buy them, then obviously EA is part of them. They'll be bigger than Activision. They will be the biggest when it comes to that. And that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. Now, here's my thing. I know one thing gamers are sad about is, man, then who's going to replace Microsoft as the third console provider? Some people say, oh, maybe it's time for Google to step in. There's not going to be a third console provider. To be honest, Now that I look back over years of generations, I don't think there was ever room to have 3 consoles. Now that I look back at it. All right? Bear with me. All right? I'm not going to go all the way back to Atari. I'm going to start with Nintendo. Okay? When Nintendo and Sega was doing their battle, the only financially successful console Sega made was the Genesis. The Sega Master System was a financial failure. The Sega Saturn was a financial failure. The Sega Dreamcast was a financial failure. And even peripherals like 32X, Sega CD were failures. The only successful hardware financially for Sega was the Genesis. At that time, Nintendo was the only company that consistently created financially successful platforms. Super NES, NES, N64, even GameCube. With as low as sales as it was financially successful because Nintendo was smart at business. During that period with Nintendo versus Sega, many other companies tried to get themselves involved, to put in their 2 cents. You had 3DO, failure. Philips CDI, failure. TurboGrafx 16, failure. Atari Jaguar, failure. Neo Geo, failure. That's a lot of failures for console makers. There wasn't much. Now, I know as gamers, we're only going to look at the memories and the games that those consoles brought. And because of the fun we have, gamers are going to look at that as a success. That's why gamers want 3 or 4 consoles, because they just remember the enjoyment. But in reality, that's not what the companies are doing. They're looking at the finance behind it. Right? Those platforms were failure, and most of Sega's platforms were failure. Only Genesis was really the true financial successful platform. Then came the PlayStation platform. And every PlayStation, for the most part, was successful. PS3, that's a tough one. Well, to be honest, not really tough because we saw what happened. But the thing is, so many things were also going wrong with that company. But PlayStation 3 put a financial burden on Sony, mostly because of the cell processor and the cost of it and the Blu-ray. But you saw Sony was hurting when it came to money, when it came to that platform, when it came to that generation. Their stocks dropped. Just things were going bad. But now with PlayStation 4, they're back on top. It's pretty much the primary driving force. My man Big Night says TurboGrafx 16 was awesome. Don't get me wrong, the console was dope. Splatterhouse, Monk's Adventures. God, you know what I'm saying? The game was dope. The console was dope. I enjoyed the games. But NEC lost money on that. They lost a lot of money on that platform. All right? So I just want to say to the gamers, don't confuse us enjoying the games with the console being successful. All these consoles, most of them, failed when you think about it. In fact, when you think about it, most consoles and console gamings are failures. Let's be honest. You saw all the consoles I mentioned. Master System, Saturn, Dreamcast, TurboGrafx 16, Jaguar, 3DO, Philips CDI. What am I missing anything? Okay. I know Flipbird says you don't care that it failed. I know, I get that. I'm just trying to tell you the reality. All right. I'm not trying to say, because it failed, the games you played didn't enjoy it. What I'm trying to say is, if you honestly look at all the generations that we had and how majority of the consoles were failures, there's really no room for a 3 console market in generally. There's just no room. All right. My man Atari Lynx, that was like a handheld, right? If I remember that. And Game Gear. But in terms of whole consoles, there's really no room for 3 consoles to be successful. Last gen, I think, was the first time I seen 3 consoles was successful. Yeah, that's another one. Wii U didn't make it. Yeah, that's another failure. Saturn was, Wii U, add that to the list. That was a failure, right? P-Rock, what do you think of Google entering? I don't think Google's entering the console market. And this is the reason why. There's no room for 3 consoles. Last gen, we had 3 successful consoles. The Wii, the 360, and the PS3. Now look what it took for that to happen. Let's start with the Wii. completely marketed for a totally different audience. Sure, there was some games for some hardcore gamers, but primarily the biggest selling stuff on the Wii that made it truly successful was shit that isn't for the average gamer. Like Wii Fitness sold like 30 million. Like that's ridiculous, you know? And what is it? Just Dance stayed selling every year. That thing was selling as much as Call of Duty. It was just a lot of casual wiggle waggle that made that console successful. Sure, you had some hardcore games, like Galaxy, whatever. But for the most part, that was mostly for the casuals that was into that waggle crap. Right? Then you had 360, which its popularity rose. But look what it took for it to rise. One of the main things that helped 360 became a dominant platform was the failure of the launch of the PS3. It launched at $600. It launched a year after 360. It didn't have compelling games the first 2 years. So all these negative things that PS3 went through is what also helped Microsoft boost up 360 popularity. So we can't have a gen where a console purposely screws up to make another console do good. That's not healthy. We don't want to see PlayStation 5 mess up just so that way the next Xbox have a chance to be great or so great. That's not how it works. So I just look at everything and I just look at the past and I look at the generations. I just say to myself, there's really no room for 3 consoles, as much as I hate to say it, because obviously with 3 consoles, you have potential for 3 different experiences and 3 different games. But chances are it just doesn't cut the mustard, And I think Microsoft is going to be the one to say, you know what? They'll still make consoles for those who are into Xbox, but that's not going to be the strategy. What's going to be the strategy is games and services, and it's going to be on as many platforms as it can. And I think that's a great concept for Microsoft. I think they will be, under that idea, with that vision, I think they will be the biggest third-party developer, platformer, studio in gaming. They will provide lots of games. They will make lots of money, which in turn will create lots of games. They'll be able to make lots of deals with small developers, bigger developers to create more content, and that content will be everywhere. And I think gamers will benefit more with that Microsoft. With that Microsoft putting themselves in that position, gamers everywhere will benefit. That's why it's important we support these games. I agree, it's important we support these games, but at the same time, you can't knock people for not buying them. Because at the end of the day, we're consumers. If the game's not interesting, it is what it is. Like me, I'll be honest, one particular game that I do feel some type of way when it comes to sales is Hellblade. I understand it may not be everybody's cup of tea. I get that. But to see that it only sold 250K on PlayStation, I do feel some type of way. That is the only time. That's really one of the few times I really got disappointed in game sales. And maybe the only time it was Hellblade, because the Hellblade was a very good game. The studio did an amazing job to release an affordable game. It's only $30. They were very innovative in how they use sound and dementia. I mean, that game was just phenomenal. When you play that thing with a headset, it was just insane. It makes you wonder, how crazy people really go through life day by day, just hearing voices and shit like that. I can't imagine waking up and going to sleep just hearing voices in my head every single day of my life. Then it's just no wonder they be bugging out, because for real, that game was driving me nuts, and it's just amazing how innovative a studio like that was able to do something. Now, granted, the studio said they made profit, between the PlayStation 4 and PC sales, so good for them. But I can only imagine if that game at least sold 1 million on PlayStation, just 1 million. I can only imagine how ecstatic Ninja Theory would have been to see their game sell 1 million copies. If 250K on PlayStation, 250K on PC was way beyond their expectation, I can only imagine how they would have jumped for joy seeing that game sell 1 million. And I don't think 1 million sales on a PlayStation 4 platform at this point in time is a lot. All right? Not crazy a lot, especially at the time. People were trying to use Lawbreakers and Matterfall. Like, come on now. Stop it. Matterfall and Lawbreakers shouldn't have stopped Hellblade sales at all. At least even just 1 million worldwide, Um, now I know some people say if Hellblade would have had a physical release, it would have helped. But the reason why they did digital only, because they actually stuck true to what digital distribution does. It makes things cheaper. That's why they were able to launch it at $30. If they would have launched a physical release, it probably would have costed more in terms of the price of the game. So they stuck with digital, and they sold it for $30, and it's a good quality. It's a very good quality game. I know some people say it's an indie game, but when you play it, it feels. I prefer it better than Rise. I'll tell you that much, and that's not even me throwing bullshit. Hellblade is a much better game than Rise in every way. Even has a combo system that Rise don't have. It's just amazing. It says the Ravenflow. Check out what Yang Ye had to say about this Microsoft buyout situation. Can you link me to that or DM me? Because I don't know who Young Yeah is. All right. Hellblade didn't have a huge marketing budget either. Yeah, it didn't have a huge marketing budget. I wish Sony would have done a better job though on their store. Like, put it as a feature. Just put it more on the store. But it is what it is. They were successful. But that's really the only game I have some type of I feel hell yeah, it's better than Rise. Cycle game of hell now, you bugging. Rise. Bro, Rise, yo, don't let me get started, bro. Man, let me tell you something. Listen, Rise had good graphics. Not knocking that. And I like the Roman thing, all right? But if you make a hack and slash game, an action game, and you only attack with one button, you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? You got a problem. How the hell are you going to attack with just one button? And those QTEs, the moment you hit the right bumper, you ain't got to do nothing. The guys are dead. You can mess up the QTE, it doesn't matter. The guys are dead. It's instant death. Like, come on, man. We got to stop. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you got to stop the bullshit. Rise, yo, Crytek does not know how to make good gameplay. That game does not have good gameplay at all. The story's great. The graphics is great. I'll give you that. There's no doubt. There's nothing wrong with that. Crytek knows how to make good graphics. They know how to make good graphics. And the Roman theme, that whole Roman saga was awesome. But gameplay-wise, you know what I'm saying? My man, JJ Felton. Rise was known for a launch game. Listen, we cannot use launch game damage control. Rise does not even have the basics in terms of hack and slash from games that came out in 2001, bro. The last time I played a hack and slash where you only attack with one button was maybe the PlayStation 1. Like, I can't remember a time where I'm not using at least two buttons to combo win attacks. That shit is wild. Like, when I'm playing Rise, I'm thinking, yo, this game has no other attack button. It's not like light and heavy or swift and fast, fast and strong. Like, nothing like that. I was tripping, bro. It's just really X. Maybe once in a while you kick the person or bash, but I don't really consider that part of combos. Those are basic defensive moves. But like, combos where you do swift, hack and say, y'all know what I'm talking about. Play Devil May Cry, play Ninja Gaiden, play God of War, where you're doing multiple combos to do different things. Rise didn't have that, dog. I was like, yo, this game is bugging out. You're literally just doing this, bro. My Xbox controls over there, but you're just like, let me grab it. That way, y'all people. I'm literally with this controller, right? I'm like this. And what's crazy, you can, deflect almost everything, and you don't even have to time it. All right? The only time you have to time the attack is when the enemy turns red, right? Then you have to be really good at timing it. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny, most games, when you're deflecting attack, you have to be good at deflecting all attacks, no matter where it comes from. And this game is just the red guys, the guys that glow red. But every other attack, you could just be like this, and you'll deflect everything. And then you just do this. Hack. Yo, that game, I was getting bored. I'm like, yo, this game's tripping. Crytek, yo, don't ever make, wow, bro, you need to consult a studio that knows how to do combat. Platinum Games, Ninja Theory, like, fuck. Like, yo, graphically, the game was great. You know what I'm saying? No, thank you. Graphically, the game was great. I love the Roman settings. It kind of gave me that, the gladiator feel. You people know what I'm talking about. The gladiator feel. So it had that little gladiator, Russell Crowe type feeling. I kind of enjoy that stuff. All right. And I played on Centurion mode too, which is the highest level you could select. There is a Legionary or Legionary mode or whatever. But in order to select that mode, you have to beat the game. After I beat the game, I'm not going to go back and play it. Like, you bugging. Like, nah, I'm not going to subject myself. So I even played on the highest mode that you can play. And it was easy as hell, man. I'm like, man, this game has no challenge. Like, granted, the story was great. Graphics are beautiful. I don't care about that 900p. Never did. I played it on the OG, on my 1 terabyte Halo edition Xbox, right? And it's a beautiful look. It is a beautiful looking game. And the background story is great. But God, that gameplay was that gameplay has to be completely revamped. Like, it's bugging, right? Quantum Break is the next game I want to play. That's what I'm waiting for it to come in. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I think we're gonna wrap it up. It's 4:00. I appreciate you guys for rocking out with me. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you're new to the channel, I hope you subscribe. You know what I'm saying? And whatchamacallit. Now, let me do a $5 super chat for my man Lionel. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support, brother. He said, best elite controller Xbox can ever make is the X Universal Controller. You can play that on every device, even Netflix. Imagine the money that would make. You know what, though? I think if Microsoft goes third party, that's the one thing they won't do. I don't think they'll make controllers for every platform. I think they will make it specifically for their hardware because that's just revenue for them, and it's something for their fan base to keep happy. And that's like one of the reasons a fan base will buy a console. One of the reasons. They like custom controllers, features, services, user interface. Like I said, there's multiple reasons, but thank you for so much. A Netflix controller, they'll make money if they can make a controller with a decent D-pad, I would say. But other than that, I'm going to be out. I'm about to play some games. You know how we do. Wherever you guys at, if you guys are, my man said Rise was simply a better game overall. Hellblade was, man, you better stop it. You better stop, Psycho Gamer. You know what I'm saying? It's better than Rise. Hellblade's better than Rise, bro. It's better than Rise. Just admit it. Free your soul. All right? Just free your soul, Psycho. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope it was informative. Hit me up on the comment section. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Please hit the like button before you leave on your way out. Retweet it. And I'll check you guys out on Twitter or on PlayStation. I'm about to hit up some Monster Hunter. If you're down. My character's weak. I still have to boost them up. So I'm trying to do these missions and stuff like that. But, if you want to hit up in the party or whatever, I play on PlayStation. My PSN ID is PorterRock77. That's also my gamer tag on Xbox. So I'll check you guys out. I hope you guys enjoy your day. This is your boy PorterRock77, and I'm out. Don't forget to hit that subscribe. Hit the bell. Like. I'm out. Peace.